What's up, everyone? Welcome back to an episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 193. We are back with what a weekend in combat sports. We all know the biggest thing that happened this weekend was Jake Paul again. His unanimous decision.
Deontay Wilder got a knockout. Jay, we're bringing that. Deontay Wilder got a knockout win.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that Deontay one. That was awesome.
It was not. That was not a good fight.
No tears yet. Save him for the big reveal.
Can't believe I'm over here crying and Jimmy's talking about Jake Paul.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that. Yeah, we didn't watch that. I didn't care, honestly.
No. Holly Holm got a win.
I cared a little bit. Huh?
Holly Holm got a win, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yep. That's very nice too. It's like I kind of cared a little bit. I kind of wanted to watch it, but then it was just like
we found out it happened 45 minutes after.
Well, no, it's because Ginger had the shit up, but then
I meant the Holly Holm one.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember opening up Instagram and I was like, oh shit, she won 45 minutes ago. We missed that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then so I just didn't end up watching the main event, and then I just saw that it was a UD, and I was like, I am so happy I didn't.
Oh, and not only that, but I heard it was shit. Like I heard Julio Cesar Chavez didn't even throw really start throwing until after round 5.
Nice. I saw it was. I saw a post. It was just oh fucking. Jake and Chavez went to war or something, and it was just some very mid clips or whatever, and then I just saw it was posted by Most Valuable Boxing Promotions. I was like, makes sense. But so that happened. Didn't really give a shit. We had some PFL, had some decent stuff from there, but the biggest thing to talk about for sure is UFC 317. Before we get into all of that, like and subscribe if you enjoy everything we're doing over here. We appreciate everyone that does help us get to the top. Let's go! All right. So much. There's so much with this. Top to bottom.
Great card.
I think this might be event being a front runner for event of the year right now.
No, yeah, for sure. The way everything ended up, the fights that we had, it was great.
Easily in consideration for that for sure. There was a fight, not a big fight or anything, but it got canceled, a day before or whatever, and so it was just one of those things where dropped down to an 11 fight card for a pay-per-view. It's just that's kind of short, it's one of those things where it's just damn, so many fights have fallen apart on this card and everything. It was just there was a little bit of what are we actually going to get from it. And the way that it delivered, it was incredible.
I didn't feel much about that because it was Sedriques was supposed to fight a guy making his debut. Sedriques couldn't get his ankle monitor off in time, so he couldn't fight, and in comes in another guy making his debut. So while it could have been a fun fight, I didn't feel anything by missing out on them because I don't know them. You know what I mean?
For sure. 100%.
And then the dude who comes in short notice misses weight by 10 pounds.
Damn, is
that what it was?
Yes.
I didn't see that. I just saw that it was canceled.
I'm surprised you guys didn't see that. Yeah, he had a terrible showing.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure you just said it was a botched weight cut or whatever. So I was just damn,
he came in at
short notice. That's that sucks, but
yeah, I think he came in at 194.
Shit,
bro, that's one of those things.
Yeah, he got released immediately as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's I know it's one of those things where it's just short notice and it can be rough or whatever, but it's you don't take a short notice fight for a weight if you can't make at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You accepted that fight on that day at that weight. It's you took that opportunity from someone else at the end of the day. That kind of stuff does suck.
It also, I just seen because he was supposed to fight on Contender Series of this year, so they pulled him from that, and it showed a canceled that fight was canceled, and it was the opponent that it said to be determined versus this guy. Okay. So I guess they pulled him from Contender Series altogether.
Damn, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
That's rough. Sucks for that guy for sure, but I'm sure it's give it a year, then they'll probably need someone on short notice.
They'll probably forget. They'll forget about it eventually.
Yeah.
But to start this card off at the top, the reason why we were all here, International Fight Week, headlined by Ilia Topuria former featherweight champion of the world, relinquished the title so he can move up for this opportunity. Fighting former champion at 155 in Charles Oliveira. It's fan favorite, just such one of the most beloved fighters in the sport today. It is just crazy the following that he has gotten for himself over the last few years. And for Ilia to just go out there and make that fight look as easy as he did, and in theory, his hardest test to date in the UFC was nothing short of spectacular. This dude, from the moment he got this fight, called that he was going to finish him in the first round. He said that he was going to knock him out in the first round, and that is exactly what he went out there and did. 2 minutes, 27 seconds, unconscious on the floor. Charles Oliveira, the first time we ever seen him like that in the lightweight division, like on this run. I don't know if he's ever been like KO'd flat like ever in his career, but like it, especially just like on this run,
sorry, I was just going to say, because I know he has one that was like the shoulder injury to Max. It was a ground and pound from Paul Felder. Punches, strikes, so, it doesn't seem like he went out just like straight on the ground like that.
Yeah. But so for one punch for Ilia Topuria, that combo at the end, the right hand, left hook, and then, followed it up with a couple hammer fists. He was unconscious on that right hand. Yes. He did not even, like, the left hook, that is his money shot. That is like the butter. Like, that is what he wants to finish people with most of the time. Just done with the first one. That was absolutely vicious, man. It's just hard to even put into words the exact level and just everything that Ilia Topuria was able to show last night against Charles Oliveira. Like, it was insane.
Yes, because heading into this, I didn't think he was going to get the first round knockout at first, because and nothing to do with like his lack of ability to do it, but just generally when he goes into these fights, he goes in very smart. He went in patient against Volk, gave up that first round to kind of get the reads, found it in the second. With Max, he was obviously in there with him, but it wasn't the same like this,
Yeah.
When I saw Oliveira say like, no, my game plan is I'm just going to walk forward, I was like, oh, okay, all right, it could definitely happen. But to watch Ilia just meet him right there in the middle and immediately like, yeah, let's fucking brawl. I got this. Charles go to try to initiate grappling, and it being a non-issue essentially gets to the ground. His ability to just, scramble up, be out of the position and back to the feet and find that knockout. Like everything was just a non-issue. Like,
and just the way that Ilia set it up, goes in, because Oliveira's coming forward, throws out a jab, takes a small step back, and just basically coils that like hand and leg to deliver that power shot, that short power shot, right hand that lands and knocks out Oliveira as he's coming in, and then to land that left hook right after. It's just like, this dude's boxing is so fucking crisp.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where the like best boxer in the UFC that has like been a discussion of, and just like a topic for like just the last couple of years. Really just since like I feel like Max had his runs against Calvin Kattar, that was real, like it just really started to just get brought about. But like there is no doubt that Ilia Topuria is the best boxer in the UFC. Like it is so easy. Like when you think like Max and Dustin, like Piotr, like just JDM. Whatever guys. Yeah, that like you put in there, they have good boxing for MMA. It's an entirely different thing from actually having good boxing. You know what I mean? Like you could just see in just the level of thoughtfulness, and just like you were saying of why you thought that it was going to go longer because of how thoughtful, and because it's just kind of like, like when you watch boxers fight, they're not like, oh, right, like going at it and I'm just throwing punches, I'm looking whatever. It's like they're finding their range, they're finding their timing, they're throwing out jabs, they're measuring everything and staying safe in that process in order for like the possible opportunities to open up, or for like them to force them when it's available. Like
so with Charles, like going up to 155 and fighting Charles, who's taller, has the longer reach advantage, and is just a threat in his own right, I definitely was just like, he's not going to get the first round knockout because he's too thoughtful and he's not going to throw himself into the fire like that. And into the fire he went, and again, like you said, just made it look easy. Like
he really did. And just like what you're saying, being able to scramble up to his feet like that leg lock for a second looked like it might be trouble, but he was instantly just on it, getting out of it, and it was beautiful work to see. Like it really is going to be like, just looking at it, it's like, who beats this man? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
I don't think there's a current ranked lightweight that beats this man at all in this division. Like, I have, like, on the broadcast, like, afterwards, they showed Armin, they showed Patty, they showed Justin. Patty and Gaethje are just so helpless in that fight that as soon as they showed them, the chills and the nerves that I got thinking about potential matchups with them, Patty's fucking joy for everything was way too absurd, man. Like, he does not understand what the fuck he is getting himself into with that one. I do think Armin does stand the best chance against all of them because of just like the pressure and like he is a very good striker. He is an extremely good grappler. He can push that and just have some potential. But even with that, I just feel like everything gets shut down and he gets knocked out. Just you've talked about it of just like holding on for the bit of like that left hook that fucking Joaquim Silva landed on him. Brother, think about the left hook that Ilia Topuria is going to land on him because with Charles Oliveira too, the shots that he has taken from Islam and Dustin and Justin and Chandler and all these guys in his championship run and throughout all of these fights, he has he gets sit down, but he's always there and then he comes back up. Islam, got right on top, like got the sub, but it's like he is always there. Like everything Ilia said about this fight was just so 100% factual in how it played out. Of just saying, if I land the shot that hurts him, like he's not going to have the opportunity to get back up and get back into the fight unconscious with one punch. You know what I mean? And just with like talking about like Oliveira going like right out to him and everything, listening to, because I know he did like his own press conference like the week before fight week or whatever, and like listening to like some clips from that and stuff. He just saying that like he's not going to have to go out there and find his range. He was just like, from the moment the fight starts, we're going to meet at the center and we're going to be landing shots. Like, and that was exactly what happened. As soon as the fight started, Oliveira taking center, Ilia meets him and they're going at it. And it was just, I wouldn't have been surprised if that fight ended in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? With just how quick it started.
Yeah. Like that is one thing I will say, like with Ilia, like, is Ilia like he's definitely one of, but is he the smartest fighter in the UFC currently? He is, because he is up there.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where
it's hard to gauge. Because
when you talk about like top pound for pound fighters, a lot of it like fight IQ is always in it with all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's hard for me like with him, and like I don't know, it's hard to put him over Merab.
Yeah, with between him, Merab, Volk, Islam, Pantoja, even, we'll get to that too. But like, I really don't know. I couldn't say who is exactly who has like the best fight IQ, honestly.
Because it's up there. Because like back in the day, it was a lot easier because it was Jones, Demetrius Johnson, like those guys were definitely the two. GSP, like you had a very easy conversation. It's like, I'm just glad that at this point it's getting to the point where it's like, there's a conversation for 10 of these dudes to be that.
No, yeah, I definitely get that. It's just me and Kay were talking about it earlier, where year over year as time goes on, you may not have like certain like as many fighters that are like as exciting or like as legendary, just like the greats of certain times or whatever, but like just the overall level of the game consistently goes up, and just so many of these fighters now are just so good in every part of the game. Just like the people we were talking about, like Kaio and Nasruddin, where it's nothing flashy about them. They're not stars. Nobody gives a fuck about them, but they are such extremely talented fighters, and they are good everywhere. And they're, it's just one of those things where over time everyone just gets better. And the fight IQ is definitely I mean, the sport's 35 years old or whatever. You know what I mean? 30 years old. It's no surprise that we're only finally
93.
93, I think.
So 32.
But so it's not surprising that like finally at this point we're getting multiple people that are like really locked into the game at once. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's going to be something that actually separates a lot of fighters, because the thing is that you might know what you're supposed to do, but the ability to implement it or think clearly and have that same IQ in a fight opposed to training is where like there's always going to be those issues. So it's like, yeah, all this knowledge on the fights, like we're getting these guys that can use it, but it's like I feel like that's going to be something that it's really going to start to separate things. Like
100%, and because
100%. Like you,
go, yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, that's the thing though. Like every combat sport that's ever been, and like even currently in boxing and everything, like you have those gym warriors who, in the gym, they are world beaters. They look like they could be the best in the world. They're giving like Marab or Islam runs for their money in the gym, but they just aren't able to implement it on fight night. And that could be a psychological thing, could just be a physical thing, could just be going in injured or whatever. Like there are multiple things that go into that. And
I was going to say, even just the simple fact of actually being in the fight and the real adrenaline of getting punched in the face, like, you know what I mean? Or just getting like hit up, getting kicked, getting taken down, and it's for real. This isn't training where it's like, okay, bro, hold on. Or you're going a little lighter. You're not trying to take each other's heads off. It's like, no, this is the fucking time. This is where it's real. How can you handle the pressure after you've been punched in the head 30 times?
No,
like,
and I think actually a perfect example of this is kind of like what I'm saying with the psychological like block of it. Is kind of Chael Sonnen, who was able to dominate Silva over 4.5 rounds and then gets triangle choked. He had done that so many times where he, in the big fight, would choke it. Like, he would be winning and then just lose out of nowhere.
No, mental is such a big thing. And just to even going back with the fight IQ, because there's always one thing of, okay, having the idea of like the camp and you, whatever, to know what to do in a fight and to build the just like the strategy and everything and be able to actually implement it, but also being able as a fighter to make mid-fight adjustments. And that is just something that all the best fighters are able to do. That was something with Volkanovski getting the title over Max Holloway, just the mid-fight adjustments that he was able to make, because Max would have a great game plan and know what to do. He would start off strong and then Volk just is able to flip it around. You know what I mean?
Felipe over DC, going to the body.
But so it's Ilia Topuria is easily one of the smartest fighters in the UFC, one of the best fighters in the UFC.
Yes.
Honestly, after watching that, in my head, he is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Islam has held that for a few years now, but I just do think that Ilia Topuria does, with this win, especially just what he showed, he's the best in the world, man.
Imagining the fight between him and Islam now, it's just like, what the fuck would that have looked like? How much?
I genuinely, because with just for the fight of like, okay, what's next for Ilia? Obviously, they showed said Armin Paddy Justin. I feel like the hardest fight for him is he has to go up to 170 and just fight Islam, or just whoever. You know what I mean? I legitimately do not see anyone at 155 being a real threat to him right now. I just don't. I feel like he has to go out of his depths and go way above his weight, fighting people way above his size and frame, and possibly in some ways comparable level skills, but it's that is the only way I feel like he gets tough fights. It's obviously Islam is the guy, and that's like would be the most meaningful, but
I mean, it would be, but like fight between him and Jack, that boxing matchup, that's so interesting.
That's
so much fun. But
and that's where it is hard, because I want to see him go up to 170 and fight Islam.
I know.
Like, even if that isn't the hardest fight, there are probably other hard fights, but that is honestly just the one that I want to see. I want bro, I need to see Islam beat Jack. It is what it is. I think I have finally come to that, because Islam has to grab the welterweight title so Ilia Topuria can go up and challenge him for that 3rd title, and that's.
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate you. That's just the biggest fight that you could do for years that have happened.
I was about to say that's probably the biggest fight since like the last Conor Poirier fight.
Yeah.
Like, easily.
That's easily the only fight that has a potential to fucking crack 1 million pay-per-view buys in any real way or something.
Him versus
that is like so massive.
Like you said, they showed Armin Gaethje and Pimblett. He chins Gaethje easily. I'm sorry to any Gaethje fans out there, but Gaethje's
took Gaethje down.
I
like
know.
what?
I mean, in either way, like if you saw what Dana said, Dana was like, that shouldn't have happened with the face-off. Like he didn't think Patty should be in there. He was asked about Justin Gaethje, and he said that saying that he's gonna, title shot or retirement, that's weird. He should just retire if you're thinking about it. And he had Armin as the backup, and so while he's still being a little weird about that, it just seems like it's probably gonna be Armin.
More than likely. And I get what you're saying, Jimmy.
One.
But
I say like he's the deserving one if it's Armin, but
he is.
No hype. Because I feel like the thing that sucks too is because going into this, it's just like if Ilia wins the 3-fight run, you know what I mean? Why are you gonna make the 4-fight run Ilia fucking versus Islam? You know what I mean? Why ruin it with an Armin or a Patty? You know what I mean? Just absolutely squash the fucking streak. Like
it is such a drop off in terms of name value, especially like in terms of legendary name value. Because like like we've said, Volk, Holloway, Oliveira, like, oh man,
incredible. Yeah, it's ends up getting $50,000 for that performance. It easily, like the first short should have gotten that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just incredible work for Ilia Topuria, man. Just becomes 2-weight champ. Yeah, awesome. For Oliveira, it's
if Max wins, he fights him for the BMF next.
Probably that is something like that. It is somebody where it's like, it's gonna be a good fight. It's not gonna I don't want to see like someone that's gonna be able to one punch him again, or something like that. Like it's just
back in the day, we had a man calling him Charlie Olives and Dan Hooker. He was still calling him out.
That's honestly, those were like the two names that I was for Oliveira. It's probably gonna be Max or Dan Hooker.
I think that's a good fight.
Both of them are great.
Fight.
Yeah,
I would love to see a Holloway Oliveira rematch though.
Epic at 155 pounds. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with him. It's so fucking rough to see that, man.
It was. It really was.
But moving on to the co-main event. Absolutely. Like I said, coming into it, at this point, no shot am I ever doubting Pantoja again. Like I said with Kai, sure, he's got a puncher's chance, but it's Pantoja's chin and everything. Like, I don't even think that that's going to be a big factor. Didn't even give him an opportunity to have a puncher's chance really in this fight.
Not at all.
Oh my goodness. Round 3, rear naked choke, minute 55 seconds into the round. Pantoja's a beast.
Pantoja came out like a bat out of hell. You could tell he felt disrespected just in general by the UFC. Being solo on the pound for pound, being like, and just everything comes out and basically just takes Kai down instantaneously. Gets 4 minutes, 45 seconds of control time, working on the back, trying to get something going. Second round comes out, we're like, all right, he's gonna do it again. Nope, he's like, all right, now let's fight on the feet. Let's
show you why I got that Muay Thai tattoo.
Yeah. And God, when he took him down in the third round and he was able to get that rear naked choke, it was, once he hooked it in, it was done. It was over. Because Kai was trying.
So
he was fighting the hand. He kept getting out and just immediately back in.
And the biggest problem with that is because he was obviously he was only ever able to fight the grip hand. You know what I mean? He was never able to actually get the choking hand or anything, get back there to try and relieve that pressure. Because as he was doing that, it's just, you're watching it just still get tighter and tighter, even though Pantoja doesn't have it locked up. And I'm starting to think, I'm just like, bro, he might just get this without.
He might just get one armed rear naked choke.
Yeah. Like you said, he went out there with just the fucking ferocity and all the disrespect on his shoulders and just showed why you shouldn't put someone that has a 1-fight winning streak in there against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was that was ridiculous, man. The second round when he's striking with him on the feet, there was like the one moment he like throws a couple punches, gets Kai like completely turned and like backing away, and then he just like smacked the leg, you know, got a big reaction, just smacked it up again because he was so angled. It like Kai was just so worried about everything that Pantoja was gonna do. He couldn't do shit for himself. Like,
bro, the body kicks he was landing were nasty. Just had him all bruised up on his rib cage. Like,
because honestly, like, you know, with Tapology, I know you went sub and I ended up going out because I obviously Pantoja goes to the grappling and he's looking to get you out of there with the subs, but I kind of had the feeling that I thought Kai's just defense on the ground was gonna be better, and then just on the feet, like I had a feeling Pantoja was gonna go to the body, just like Moreno did. And the first shot he threw as soon as the fight started was kick to the body, and I was just like, "Let's go!" Like he knows what he's supposed to be doing, you know. But then just ran after him and then got the takedown. It just a flawless performance for Pantoja in this one, man.
And like in the post fight interview, Joe Rogan said it's getting better because like the thing is, goes to a split with Moreno, UD over Brandon Royval, UD over Ursig. Now back-to-back rear naked chokes. Weirdly enough, over guys named Kai.
Yep.
And just he is. Oh my god, he is so good. He is. I'm sorry, but he is top 5 pound for pound. I don't care what the UFC says, having him at number, fucking 9?
Yeah.
Tied with Peloton and below Volk, Magomed, Sedriques.
Like, it's like, that's crazy to have him tied with Peloton. It's absolutely insane. I don't know. But it's, man. Beautiful performance for Pantoja. Fourth title defense now for him. Just starting to stack them up. That's got to be second most.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's the second most title wins in flyweight history behind
DJ with the most wins in flyweight history.
Most wins, submissions, and finishes, right?
Yes, most wins, submission, finishes in flyweight history. I'm sorry, but like he if he gets like one more, like he is pretty much like he is making his GOAT argument right now as we speak. Yeah.
It's one of those things where, especially with, you know, we've had so many divisions where, you know, John Jones at 205, GSP at welterweight, Anderson at 185, Jose at featherweight, DJ at 125. You know, like so many long-ringing champs where with so many accolades and everything, where it's like nobody's beating them. You know what I mean? For that divisional GOAT. Obviously, nobody's going to get to fucking 11 consecutive title defenses. I feel like, you know, for DJ against that, that is just such a hard thing and like an impossible task. But with the division that Pantoja is fighting in, respectively to Demetrius, you know what I mean? Like, it's better. Demetrius has title defenses against Ray Borg. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's a different thing. I don't know about one more, but I think if he gets 2 more title defenses, I think you could start having that conversation. And I wouldn't be mad at that. That gets him at 6. It's 5 behind. It's almost, you know, just over half as many. And I feel like that's when you can kind of like start getting to it. The overall work that he has done against the top 10 of his division for so many consecutive years, it is pretty goddamn impressive.
He has the second longest win streak in flyweight history as well at 8 currently. DJ obviously 12. 13.
Or was it 13?
It's 13.
Oh yeah,
12 title wins.
Yeah.
He had 1 fight that wasn't.
Yep.
Title.
But yeah. So yeah, super impressive for Pantoja. We'll get into his next title challenger soon because that's the next fight and they had him face off.
Yeah.
But for Kai Kara France, it just back to the old grind, really. You know what I mean? That was a very rough one for him. You could just see just the emotion and everything afterwards. You know, it's just you got the blessed opportunity of an undeserved title shot, and for it to be as rough as that, he's probably going to have to do some solid work in a row against these top guys to be able to get another one, especially if Pantoja's holding it, because now he's just in the Royval Moreno position of he's beating you on tough, he's beating you in professional, and we're going to see this a third time.
Do you think they go back to Manel Cop or the loser of Amir and Tyra?
See, I was thinking it was either going to be Manel Cop or the winner of Asu versus Ramazan.
I think probably the winner of Asu versus Ramazan is better for the division. Because it gets him just a further back fight, you know what I mean? It gives someone up a chance. You just need some of that. Just get bigger gaps in rankings of people fighting each other to try and help movement.
Because it's like what he was saying, we'll talk about it later. I think Manel Cop, you rebook him against someone else. But
yeah. So just great fight in the co-main, just more of a dominant, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
nothing.
Yeah, dominant performance by Pantoja. Get him up there in the top in the pound for pound rankings, at least top 6.
Yeah.
Come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. This featured bout though. Brother, oh brother. This is another one of just hard to fucking put into words, man, of the level of craziness that is the UFC and MMA career of Joshua Van.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is wild. It just doesn't make sense for MMA in 2025. This is some shit that it's you get a very good, talented fighter that is naturally good, whatever they learn really fast, and it's fucking 2010 or some shit, and they're able to just start doing crazy things. Less than a year ago, because what was the exact date of it?
It was July 13th.
July 13th.
So 2 weeks away from being a year.
22nd knockout into the third round. Loses to Charles Johnson. That was a bad one. Just got put, went down, done so fucking clean. And then since then,
comes back 2 months later.
Where we were just okay, what the fights Edgar Shirez, gets it done. UD, good for you. Comes back, fights Cody Durden
2 months later,
and that was also
3 months later,
and that was Cody Durden also coming back after a knockout, and it was just okay, this is a one, or let's just do it then, fine. UD, awesome, no, okay, cool, another just solid guy outside the rankings, whatever. Then gets Ray Saruya
3 months later.
Yep.
Easily stopped all the grappling. Didn't get the hands going as much as you know what I mean. Easily won that fight. UD. How about a fight in the rankings now?
3 months later,
Bruno Silva goes out there, finishes him in the third round. Absolutely incredible.
3 weeks later,
and then with that, literally he fought on Saturday, and it was either that Monday or Tuesday. Fight news coming soon, and we were just what the fuck is going on? What?
I was thinking, okay, he's on the next pay-per-view, what? Not 317, but pay-per-view after that. Okay, 318, 319, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's Manel Cop is pulled out, Joshua Van stepping in against Brandon Royval. What? Hold up. Wait a minute.
Notice against the number one contender.
According to him, 3 weeks is plenty of time. That's not a short notice fight.
Against the number one contender, has only fought ranked opponents.
To say.
His only losses coming to the current champ and the former champion, Brandon Moreno. He avenged the loss over Brandon Moreno, and then had a very close fight with Pantoja in the second one.
Yeah.
Easy, clear as day, number 2 guy in the division. And to go out there and have a fight like that, fight of the night, fight of the year, instant classic, record-breaking numbers for the division, records over for the fight.
Yeah.
3-round fight and a combined number of 219 significant strikes were landed.
419.
419. Sorry.
Yeah.
215 from Royval, 204 from Van, 467 attempted from Royval, 305 attempted from Van.
That's an attempted 772 significant strikes.
Yeah. 15 minutes, 3-round fight.
Brother, there are so many fighters, even in this division. You give
that
them
are
fucking
landing
20 fights and like fucking strike numbers like that. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, give them a 5-round fight and they're putting up a combined numbers of what they landed in one singular round. Like,
it is insane the pace that both of them put on throughout 15 minutes. And for Joshua Van at 23 years old to come out on the better end of it, I thought it was a clear 29-20. I thought, he should have gotten that, but I'm pretty sure one judge gave it 30-27, and I was just like, damn, that's kind of like, like just not giving anything to Royval. Bro, it's how the fuck do you lose to Charles Johnson less than a year ago, and you go out there and have a fight like that with Brandon Royval? You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
He was the only one to land the knockdown, just like, right at the end of the third round, like super close, trying to get the finish. Both of them were hurting each other constantly throughout the fight. Van definitely had the bigger moments.
That's what I was just going to say, that I feel like that was the craziest thing to watch, was like, because it started off with Royval just putting the pressure on. He really kind of wasn't giving Joshua Van a moment to do anything, to think to. And I was like, okay, this is kind of the plan you need if you want to beat him, is don't even let him get started. But Royval was not committing. It was just like a lot of just like quick in and out. Some of the things were just missing straight up, or it just wasn't big shots, But when he would get in to actually commit to a shot, that's when Van would just throw bombs on him, and he was landing at a pretty good rate, and it was just wild to watch him land these big shots and actually hurt Royval, actually have him like, I need to get out of here, just backing up. It was like, oh, this is a problem. Like, Royval really needs to stay on the outside, but just staying on the outside, you're not doing as much as you should. You go into commit and you're getting bombed on. Like, it was insane. He had Royval looking crazy. Like even Van didn't start looking a little beat up until, what was it, like the end of round 2?
And
it wasn't nothing crazy. It was just slight bruising. Like,
man, it's just crazy that he's just able to do that at all. And I just wanted to just kind of like, because landing like 205 significant strikes basically, and over 15 minutes. Dude was landing almost 14 significant strikes a minute in that fight.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
It was 13.6666.
Which means that there are times that he had to have been landing so much more because of how much he kind of sat back in the beginning trying to find his footing against Royval. You know what I mean?
Because it's obviously not a static, but so there are there are probably like points where it's like 25-30 significant strikes in like a minute or so. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
but it's an average.
It's insane.
He also broke the record for landing the most, like, over 100 significant strikes in the most fights in the division, right?
Yes. six fights in flyweight. He has landed 100 significant strikes or more.
And that is the most in the division's history.
Yep. In
a
9
division
fights
that has Royval, Moreno, Pantoja, DJ. Like, that's insane to think about.
John Dodson, you know what I mean? Like, just so many people just over the years that, just incredible. And then for Royval, this was his 4th consecutive fight of landing 100 plus significant strikes as well. So just crazy stats for both of them on each side. But then, go.
I was just saying insane. Like, that's a thing. Because, you have Joseph Benavidez, who had 19 fights at flyweight, and like he didn't do that. 17 fights for Pantoja. Like, insane that's who we're talking about. Like, it's Joshua Van who has that record.
That's why we've been saying for how many fights?
I was gonna say, it was like his 3rd fight, 4th fight or something that were like, he could break Max's record.
Yes, it was like that soon, that early, where like he's young enough, he fights often enough, and he puts up the consistent numbers to do this. And he has done nothing but prove us right and right, because especially with this fight, I know that it was in his last one or the one before that, because he's at 9. So 2 fights ago, him and Jhonata were the only people to reach over 700 significant strikes in 7 fights. He has fought 2 more times since then, put up over 200 in here. Like, he's definitely in the thousands, and that's kind of where the end of the top 10 is sitting at, is in the thousands. Bro is hitting those numbers.
He's in the top 10, huh?
Well, no, not in there. But before this fight, in the flyweight division, he was sitting at 1,097 significant strikes landed. The person ahead of him was Brandon Moreno at 1,220. He is number 1 currently at significant strikes landed in flyweight division history.
Yeah.
That is insane, man.
And no one's gonna catch that, because
No, because he's gonna stick around to keep doing this,
bro. Because that was something that we brought up too, where early on, where as long as he's able to fight these top guys and not get knocked out, and he's able, you know what I mean, and now going into 5-round fights. Obviously, what he was able to show against Royval, and it's it's one of those things. Yeah, Charles Johnson got it, so there might be some fights where somebody gets him. You know what I mean? But it's brother, it's probably more than not he's going to be in 5-round fights from here on out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just more likely than not. Dude's probably going to break Max's record by the time he's 28.
That's potential, yeah.
That's 5 years from
number
now.
10.
He's been here for what, 3 years, 2 years, and he's at 9 fights.
I'm pretty sure he's about to hit 2 years.
So
he made his debut, June 24th. We just passed it, 23.
He's been here for 2 years, 9 fights. He has the most strikes in divisional, significant strikes in divisional history. He's breaking Max's record. I will guarantee that now. I will guarantee it. He is breaking that record, and he probably does it before he's 30. It's.
No, yeah. Also, the person at the bottom of the list for top 10 overall among all weight classes is Jessica Andrade at 1734. So he at least needs 2 more fights.
Yep.
Maybe 3.
Oh, fucking shit, bro. Depending on brother, if he can defend takedowns against Pantoja and they're fighting on the feet, he's about to land 500 significant strikes in that fight.
Yeah, if he does. The thing is, the thing we need to talk about with Joshua Van is his body work. He does go to the body a decent amount. And what if me and you've been saying, Jimmy, this whole time about Pantoja? He does not like getting hit to the body. I'm never going to doubt him, but that is something that we have seen as a weakness that he has had.
Yeah.
And Van goes to the body a lot, especially if someone tries to clinch him up, get a Muay Thai clinch. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's instant 6 fucking hooks to the body, if you grab him up like that. Yeah.
So it is going to be very interesting to see this fight, because if he can defend takedowns, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So record-breaking if he can defend takedowns in that fight. I can't even imagine what that would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, just incredible. Like I said, obviously got fight of the night. Both of them get $50,000. And then Dana White did say in the post-fight press conference that he was going to give Royval his win money for that fight.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I was very happy to hear that. That's just awesome for him. Just
hell yeah.
Also, Royval just also talking about all the disrespect and everything that he's felt. So it's good for him having a fight like that to just get the double money.
No, yeah, exactly. And then obviously we got Pantoja versus Van next. They did the face off and everything. So
yep.
And Dana did say during the press conference or something, right? That he was like, "Yeah, the winner's gonna get the title shot here."
Yeah,
and obviously they already should, but an actual rightful face-off opposed to the last one.
Yeah,
he actually said that pre-fight that the winner was gonna get a title shot.
Yeah,
bro, Ginger, did you pay attention to the face-off between these two at all, or no?
Oh, between Pantoja and Van?
Yeah, because I know Jimmy.
Oh my god,
and it was so funny.
It was so fun
because Joshua Van just being like Joshua Van, and he's just in his face smiling like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and Pantoja just angry, dead face staring at him. Van looked slightly uncomfortable, just turned away, going out to the crowd. It was so funny.
And the thing is, it started off very when he did come in, because obviously Patty and Ilia have problems with each other. They come in, big hug from Pantoja to Van, they're cool. But his stare, he was staring into the depths of Van's soul.
Yeah, when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean he's scared to fight him or anything, but I just meant a general, he just stared into the void.
He saw the darkness.
Yeah, he saw the darkness and Pantoja, and he's like, I gotta look away. I can't get sucked in right now.
No, yeah, exactly. It's he felt it looked like it. he felt like his soul was about to get sucked through his eyes.
Yeah, man, that scary. Let's go. Continuing down, only 3 fights through the main card.
There was so much.
There was so much to talk about.
Yep. This next one, I mean, no surprise here.
No surprise.
Benny Dariush won a fight over Moicano.
Thoroughly.
Me and Jimmy were telling you.
I know. And actually, I don't even know if you've been around for a while. I've said this because on camera, I've sat here and talked so much shit.
Yeah.
But Jimmy's heard the truth. I've been fully aware that this could happen. It was just to make myself feel better.
You gotta pick Benny on Tapology. I was like, you gotta stick with your boy. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like I was fully aware. I mean, I think I did say it actually in the review. I was like, I can't wait to be loud and wrong next week, you know? But like, yeah, that was sad. And it was almost like, for a second, though, I wasn't sure because when Moicano knocked Benny down in the first round and just had him so hurt, and like once he got on top to land strikes, it was kind of awesome because they were just flowing through that grappling. Really good.
Oh my God.
But when Benny stood up, I didn't know if it was just like getting like my feet back under me for a second, or if like he broke in that moment because he looked just, I don't know.
I saw the same thing, and then you said it, and it was just like
he just looked defeated, and I was like, bro, don't be defeated, like come back, you know. And then he did, and you know, obviously took the loss on my draft and everything, but I was so happy for him because I hated to see that look, and I was like, don't let this break you, like you can do this, like and do this. He did.
Went out in the next round, gets 2 takedowns. Trolls most of the round. He was able to land 8 strikes, 28 total strikes, 8 significant strikes. He almost, like, Moicano didn't really have anything for him that round. Like, it was just all
he landed
scrambling.
3 strikes.
Yeah. It was all just him trying to scramble. Yep. And, oh my God, the scrambles between these two all fight long were so good. I could watch, but like you said on the fight opinion, like, I can watch Beneil Dariush against any high-level grappler any day of the fucking week.
Yeah, especially after watching that, what a shame it is that Arm knocked him out so quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What grappling sequences we could have got between those two guys. But yeah, we're saying, oh, no surprise. I did think that Benny was gonna win, and I was very confident in that. But Moicano did do so much better than I thought he was going to do in moments. Like, I didn't think that there was going to be as many just like grappling scrambles and transitions and stuff, because I just figured with Benny having the better wrestling that, you know what I mean? It was just going to be just more dominant once he was grabbing his positions. I didn't think that Moicano was going to go out there, do as decent in moments on the feet, landing some shots. Like you said, that right hand that dropped him, I was just like, holy shit. But the recoverability of Benny is to not be fucking, like, you have to get him the fuck out of there. Yeah. Just, we're talking about the main event, you know, Charles Ilia. It's like, you can't give him the opportunity to recover because he's going to. And just a very fun fight. I didn't expect it to just be so thrilling. I really thought it would be a much more one-sided performance from Benny. But yeah, just a very good fight between them.
Oh yeah. Fun fight.
He said that like he'll fight anyone that the UFC gives him. Trying to think about fight, it's a little bit rough of just where everyone goes at 155 right now. I feel like a fight between him and like Benoit Saint Denis makes sense. Like I feel like that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I did see someone say to go to the rematch between him and Gamrot. I'm not mad at that because that was all the way back in 2022.
See, and like for me, if Armin isn't going to get the next title fight and he has to fight again, I think I'd like to see the rematch between Armin and Gamrot.
Yeah, that's fair.
You really want to see that?
Yeah, I do. I really enjoyed that first fight.
No, listen. Oh, Armin and Gamrot. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, not
I registered Benny and Gamrot. My bad. That's why I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, because Benny just shut down Gamrot. I was like, I don't need to see that again.
No. I thought you meant Armin and Benny.
Oh,
enjoyed it. It was a 4 seconds. Armin went out there and flatlined him. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? So that was my mistake. But yeah,
you do Benny Benoit, you do Armin versus Gamrot. I feel like that's a solid way to go. And then it's like you do Oliveira versus Max, you do Dan Hooker versus Fiziev, you do fucking Moicano versus like a Grant Dawson or something.
I think
like,
you do Moicano versus Michael Chandler. Give him easy money.
You're so...
Michael Chandler, easy money.
He rear naked chokes him for
It's
sure.
not easy money.
Easy money.
He rear naked chokes him for sure.
Brother, did you see how easy Ben Bob got in on him when he decided to throw punches and just go after him? What do you think that first 10 seconds is with Chandler and Moicano? That's a jab to the body, that's a right hand over the top, and Moicano's going...
Moicano jumps over him and lands right on his back.
What athleticism does Moicano have to do a technique like that?
Yeah, and I was here thinking he just grabs a headlock, gets him into a guillotine,
I'm just
chokes him
throwing
out.
shit out there.
He's got the athleticism, he's got the body. But nah, yeah. Good shit for Benny to get it done. There was only room for one old man in this division, but sadly it was not. I don't know, it was Benny.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. With Benny though, it is still worrisome with him in literally any fucking fight, and I hate that because it's like with him versus Benoit, for instance. Benny is definitely a way better fighter and can easily should easily be able to capitalize on all of Benoit's issues.
Yeah.
But I feel like it literally just takes one shot. You know? And I know he's not getting knocked out by everyone. I know that he can recover the same way that he did and stuff. But I do think that Benoit does have some pretty devastating power, and I think that he will be quick to follow it up. That could be a scary fight for him, and not even because he's a worse fighter, but just because he is chinny.
Yes,
I get that. I need to remember we're saying Moicano doesn't have the wrestling to deal with Dariush. Benny has better wrestling, and Moicano was able to take down Benoit Saint-Denis, and we saw what Benny looks like when Benoit, when he's off his back. He has nothing.
No, for sure. But every round starts on their feet.
It does.
You know what I mean? And I know that eventually as it goes on, I get more tired. But I just don't know if Benny's going to go out there and just I can't give him a shot. If he tries to feel him out at all, it just takes that one shot, you know?
Yeah. Because this... obviously the recovering and the recoverability is still there for Benny and everything. I really just didn't think that Moicano was even going to land a shot to knock him down. And it was a fucking clean right hand. He stepped in deep. It was perfect. But I do wonder, it's just okay, where is that chin at potentially? You just got finished in back-to-back fights leading in, and now you got dropped in the first round by Moicano. He just got his first 2 knockout wins, you know what I mean? Both of them also on the ground, you know what I mean? He's not fucking punching people out on the feet. So I feel that's where, you said, it's Benoit has the power. He's aggressive enough and physical enough, even though he's not as good and technical as Moicano. If he could potentially land that shot and get Benny out of there if he is too chinny, but I do think that it is a good overall fight for Benny where he can get the win. It's just it's a good leveling out one to just Benny's gonna fight anyone. The UFC doesn't care to push him, and that's
it's
just
155.
a solid.
Anybody could technically land that shot anyway. Not anybody, but you know.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah. So
it is interesting because Benoit did go out, get a takedown, start off with the grappling at first in his last fight. I highly, highly doubt he does that against Beneil.
I mean, I wonder if he has been working on it because it's realistically, submissions has been Benoit's thing way more than actually getting the knockouts and standing up on the feet. So if he's realized that, okay, maybe, and I feel that's why he has such flaws in his striking is because that's not his bread and butter. I wonder if he's realized that he kind of needs to work on actual takedowns or defense. And if that's something he's been putting time into, then maybe it could make a difference there.
For sure.
I get that. It's just one of those things where his easiest path to victory is on the feet against Beneil.
Yes, I do.
So that's why I think he might not be going for it like that, especially with the scrambles Dariush is able to create and stuff. He ends up on his back again. He's getting elbowed. He's getting punched because he was he really looked like a fish out of water once he was on his back.
I could also see a club and sub too because Moicano, he's got the rear naked, but Ben will jump on different things, you know. So it's I could see him. He hurts Ben. He jumps on Gilly, and that's you know what I mean. Yeah. So the opportunities is there, but it is a rough fight for him. But yeah, we'll see. we'll see where 155 ends up playing now down the division. And then the last fight on the main card, Payton Talbott was back after taking his rough loss, losing his O to Raoni Barcelos, taking on Felipe Lima in this one. Looked incredible. Very solid performance for him. Definitely a very nice bounce back.
Hell yeah. I don't know if you heard him talking at all, but I just love to see stuff like the realizations and the self-accountability, especially in young people. He's only 26 years old, because he said it himself, like going into that fight, he had let all the hype get to his head where he wasn't working as hard. He was kind of just doing shit because he could, and he was out there, and you know what I mean? He went from nobody to a huge star in the matter of a year, because he was like fighting consistently enough with impressive wins that he blew the fuck up. And, like to be able to come to that realization early, like, yeah, I really did let that get to me. Like, I have to lock in. It showed.
Yeah,
it showed for sure.
100%. The strike was on point. The grappling defense was on point. It just did very good. Just getting up in the moments, it was just very, very solid overall.
No, yeah, it really was.
He definitely still needs to work on not getting hit so much, because the shots that he was eating from Felipe Lima were big shots. He ate them with no issue, like a couple stumbles here and there, but nothing like, oh, he's rocked. So that's good, I guess. But but there's definitely should work on that.
There are guys up in the division, higher in the division, who are going to capitalize off that a lot more, like a Vinicius Oliveira. Marcus McGee's got good power.
Yeah.
Figueiredo, Song Yadong, Corey Sandhagen, Piotr, Sean.
Yep.
Like, all those guys would be able to capitalize off that a little bit
for
better.
Sure. But going back to like what I said with just like, understanding more and not letting the hype go to his head of like, yeah, I'm a hype prospect. Like, put me in with Sean O'Malley right now because I want to get this out of the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it'll opens up the door way more for him to be like, okay, what did I do wrong in this fight? How can I improve? Rather than just being like, I'm the fucking best.
Yeah. And because I know one thing that like his coaches were saying to him, like mid-fight, and especially as the fight started to go on, it was like, stop playing with him. Like he's standing in front of him and he's just not doing anything, just because you could just see that he was in control. He was just, you know what I mean? He wanted to do whatever he wanted to out there. Like it just got to that point, and it just opens up too many opportunities for your opponent. And that's just definitely something that it's like, it doesn't matter if you felt like big shots and it feels like nothing to you. It's like you said, as you go up in the rankings, like you can't give your opponents any of those opportunities. It's
right. Cause I think it was in the third round where he just kind of dropped his hands and was playing with him. He like, was smiling a little bit and then just right there got taken down. Obviously didn't win the fight. Nothing really happened off of it, but you can't give them that time. Like
exactly.
So
yeah, just clearly things to still tighten up. But like you said, he's young, he's improving, and he will definitely become a better fighter in the future.
He's 26, like she said. It's gonna be real interesting to see what he looks like, 28, 29, 30, once he starts really getting into his prime.
Yeah, 100%. That is the pay-per-view portion of the card for UFC 317. With the prelims,
I popped off too.
Yeah, I feel like the first place to start, there were 3 knockouts on this card. Every single one of them, first round, floored, devastating, like just monstrous knockouts.
This one definitely the most devastating of them all.
Yes.
$50,000 bonus to RoboCop.
It came out of nowhere. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Brother.
Because we expected him to get knocked out, and the way that first round was going, Jack was piecing him up. He kind of shot a takedown barely, you know what I mean? But he was just on the feet with him. And he had RoboCop looking a mess. Like, it was pretty immediately. It was like, oh, does he have a cut on like the left side of his head? And then he turns to the other side and he has a cut on the right side of his head. It was a minute later and he starts getting cut up under both eyes. Like, RoboCop was looking a mess early and he just wasn't landing that much. Like, even with this, it was 30 significant strikes to 18, like out of nowhere. One shot, dead on the ground, left hook. Jack Hermansson was out for minutes.
Yeah,
the extra hammer fist did not help.
No.
It's one of those things. It's always hard for me because it's like, obviously it's like you clearly see that your opponent is just dead on the mat. You know what I mean? Like, there's no room for it at all. But It's like, I don't know. There are so many times where fighters are dead on the mat and then they just come back. You know what I mean? It's like you go till the ref stops it. It's like I see, like, a lot of people just like have problem, but it's, I don't know. I'm not holding that against RoboCop.
Trained to do that because like you try to get that walk off moment and then you get Jalen Turner versus Moicano where you try to walk off and then nope, he's not done. And the fight continued. Now, obviously, he would stand over him for a second before he landed that emphasis. Clearly, he was out, but...
I mean, but even with that, with standing over him for a second, it's not like Herb called it. You know what I mean? So I feel like he might have had that moment of like, it's not called, okay. And then that's when Herb tried to step in, but it's like, bro, you should have called it immediately. That's literally your job.
Yeah.
He was dead on the mat. You gave him that second to be like, the fight's not over.
Yeah.
Like
bad positioning for Herb to not be able to get in there faster because it was like, as he was throwing it, he was like behind him, grabbing him. It's like,
but that's why
it
just felt like he waited until he was moving on him. You know what I mean? It's like you have to call it's done.
Sometimes the ref has to get in there a lot quicker than what he actually does. But also, like, Jimmy, I know you'll remember this one. It was Jacare Souza versus Chris Weidman, where he's like on the ground, he's like around his ankles. Jacare hits him like 2 times, and he's like goes almost out, and then goes back to the feet, and he's looking at Dan like it's done, like, and he keeps going until he's actually out. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yep. Fucking Justin Gaethje yelling at the ref because he wasn't stopping the fight against. It'd be like that, but it's
I remember that.
It was just so rough, and like you say, dude had like 5 cuts on his face before like he got that, and it was the first round. It was just crazy. Yeah, that was super vicious and very sad to watch as a Jack Hermansson fan. Rough. And then the other one, 26 seconds into the first round, Jose Delgado just fucking blasted Hyder Amil with that knee.
Right, a couple of ground strikes landed, but that knee out. Like,
he was out, but he was like
in those knockouts, man.
Yeah, he landed and he was knocked out, but he was still like fighting the Invisible Man, so to speak. He was still like trying to find where everything was, so he was still there, quote unquote, but fighting on instincts, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why those ground strikes were more needed in that one, like more necessary, I guess to say.
Yeah, just 26 seconds, just so fast. Like
it was out of nowhere. It really was.
Oh, but just those knockouts were vicious. And then just the other prelim, like everything was just so good on the prelims. Tracy having a super good performance against Viviane. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah. Like,
I was not.
Not at all. I really just thought that Viviane was going to be better, was going to be a tougher test. Like,
easy money.
Turns out, you did money.
Yeah.
Tracy handled that no problem. It really looked like she wanted to get her out of there. Like, it looked like she wanted to make a point and just, like solidify herself. Like, no, I can do this, but didn't work out. She was still piecing her the fuck up on the feet and getting a couple takedowns. She just did her thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And takedowns came super easy. Ground and pound was real nice in there. Everything was. Cortez definitely seems like she's starting to put it together. Really cemented herself as like a top 15 contender in this one, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
T-Rex, Slava. Just fight starts. They go after it. Slava throws a leg or a body kick. T-Rex catches it, gets him on the ground, locks up the choke. At 55 seconds. That is. Like crazy. So fast.
Dude. And just the transitions, because even on the mic, what did he say? He was like, I tried for the Darce and then wrapped up the ninja and it just ended up in the mounted guillotine.
What he said was it was his favorite transitions because he went from the Darce to an anaconda to a guillotine. And it was a mounted guillotine at that. Porsche had no idea what the fuck to do. He was kicking his legs wildly under the full mount.
So hard to get out.
And just amazing work by Terrence McKinney. And actually, I do kind of have a fight, and you guys tell me how you feel about it. Because it'd be a test for someone. Him versus Taco Padilla.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
Taco's not really a power puncher, not a knockout artist type of guy. I think he's like split on KO, TKOs, and subs, if I remember correctly.
He's got 8 KO wins, 5 subs.
Yeah, so pretty split. But like his 6 KO, TKO wins are all on like the regionals. You know? Lower level comp. So
yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to like check his record. I was like, wait, I don't know about this because I thought that he had never been finished, but he's been knocked out once. He has 2 sub losses. He does go to decision sometimes, but I was just like, oh no, is he just gonna go out there and like fuck up T-Rex? Like,
look,
another killer be kill kind of a fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the last fight didn't instill a lot in me about Chris Padilla against Jai Herbert. Split decision win. He wasn't out there being the most active. T-Rex is gonna make him active. You have to be active against T-Rex, or you are gonna lose. So I think it's a great fight for both those guys.
I'd definitely be down for that one. It's not a bad call at all. But yeah, but we'll see. T-Rex be all over the place sometimes with this fight. You just never know where he's going to go. But that's definitely something that could easily happen. And then last 2 fights, Jacobe Smith taking on Niko Price. Jacobe opened and closed as the biggest favorite in UFC history. Opened as a minus 4,500 favorite, closed as a minus 2,500 favorite. It just was looking real rough early. And then Niko Price was surviving. It was trying everything he could on the ground, throwing every submission attempt up possible that he could try and go for. I would say probably roughly 5 or more cage grabs for Niko Price in that first round. It potentially helped him with a lot or all of those submission attempts, but hey, I wanted Niko Price to get the upset. I didn't want to see him get fucked up. But just Jacobe ended up gassing himself in that first round. Was so tired. But when that moment in the second round late came for him to spin on the back and grab that rear naked choke, the swiftness in which he did it was super impressive, even though he was so tired. Ends up getting the win either way and remaining undefeated. Good for him.
Yes, but this was it was not good to see, because it's like you are at 170 pounds. You're against Niko Price. You did a lot in one round, and the second round came up and you literally dropped your hands and walked away, and the ref had to tell you, like, bro, you're in a fight. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's not doing much in this division. That O is going to go soon. And I mean that respectfully, because it is good to, like, the swiftness of, like, finding that choke while he was so exhausted. But wow, is that not going to fly against other fighters? Like,
no, it's like he definitely has to learn from it and everything, but it is just kind of funny because after this one of everything and like biggest bet favorite, all that, just how it went, it was like it was Maddie Betts like in the pod with Gilbert talking, just saying that like Jacobe Smith is going to end as one of the greatest welterweights of all time.
That's hilarious. That's a crazy.
That's a crazy statement for what just happened, but
like,
I mean, it was before going into it, you know what I mean? But like, because it was just the one win over Preston Parsons, how he did it so fast. But he was saying that like, he's gonna end as one of the greatest welterweights of all time. But
and look, I understand what you're saying, Katie, but at the same time, like, he is at a gym with he's at Fortis MMA. He's at a gym with Alex Morono, Jeff Neal, a lot of UFC guys. They're going to make him work, one, on his motor, but two, like, he had an adrenaline dump because he was really trying to finish Niko in that first round. That's the biggest reason he got so tired, is he kept going for a finish. I think he just needs to calm it down, not have that dump of, I'm going to finish this guy now, and I think he'll be better in the future.
I do agree with that for sure. It's just, I don't know, because it's like, I totally agree that plays a part in it, like with the adrenaline especially.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's not like he put up some insane fucking numbers either in that first round, where it's he landed 46 of 66, which is like, that's a lot, but it's not, I don't know. I just feel like that's not dump your fucking gas tank and walk away the beginning of the second round.
Yeah.
It's just like,
all the grappling defending too. Like, it's
for sure. But what I'm saying is the levels higher. Yes. He's gonna be worked like that. So adrenaline or not, it's like, are you actually gonna be able to improve a lot from that? Because some people, their cardio just isn't good, and they try and it's just EPO time.
That's
100% fair. Just yeah.
I'll have to see. I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt, but
no, yeah, because it's like it's not like I was thinking of him as like, oh, he's ready, or he's gonna be like the next guy to join like the group of welterweights, you know. And it's like this definitely wasn't a fight to show that he's going to, but it's like undefeated, 2 fights in the UFC fighting Niko Price. Like he's had so much experience against great guys. It's
give
like
him Basil Hafez.
Yeah, that's a great next fight.
Down for that. I am down for that for sure. Let's go. And then the last fight on. Yeah, that's a good one. And then the last fight on the card, actually good heavyweight opener with Diniz and Hines. So surprising that was such a good fight.
Yes.
Hines attempting like 250 strikes in a 15-minute heavyweight fight, short notice, like UFC debut, been fighting for like a year and a half or something like that. Like, or his last 5 fights have been in like, a year and a half. Like, yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I hope that if they don't keep Hines around, like if this was just some like, hey, you're getting this one fight, like short notice shot, we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah.
That he can go and really like tighten some things up on the regionals and then be back maybe like next year or something, because it's heavyweight, so they have a little bit more time. He obviously can go.
Yeah.
He is a dog. He's got some like skills in him, but he really needs to work on his distance management and just like kind of striking overall. Like it's there. The fundamentals are all there.
Yep.
But his entries for takedowns, his actual entries for striking, like he looked off, and like you could tell like basically right away the skill difference between the two of them, but he has the heart to go, and he's going to put on exciting fights. And if he can tighten things up a little bit more, like you said, it's only been like a year and a half, because it's literally his last 5 fights have happened in the past year and 2 months. He was 7-0 headed into this.
Yeah.
So
give him time.
Give him a little bit of time. And if they don't cut him after the low level guys, Don'Tale Mays, fucking even Muhammad Usman, you know what I mean? Like Hamdi, like give him those guys.
Yep.
And then let him cook there.
He's got to build that experience, tighten up the skill set, and I feel like he could definitely be a very solid heavyweight.
Yeah, because I don't normally like heavyweights, but like you said, he attempted 260 strikes and he went 1 for 10 of takedowns. Now, the accuracy on all of those things is terrible, but he didn't waver, bro. Like
ate a lot of big like it's like he is fucking in it. Like, definitely excited to see more from him for sure. Let's go. That is UFC 317, top to bottom, everything it's got. Tapology was absolutely incredible from it. I got 9 of 11 fights right. I came out first in the group, first overall in the Tapology group too. It was very nice, very good.
I came in second.
Ended Ginger streak though.
I know. That's what I was happy about. But I was so upset because I've decided that you can no longer watch me do my picks because you make comments while I'm doing things, and then I'm like, oh fuck, like, and you make me actually think about them.
I only make comments after you make a pick and you decide to go back to change it, and I always say don't change it.
But I can't help it because you start talking and it's pressure, so you can't watch me anymore because
don't change. But that's why I do wait till,
because even with the Benny one. Told me, you're like, you can't go Benny, and I should have gone Benny.
Wait, you talk too much shit. You're not allowed to do that. You had to stick with it.
I didn't have to.
You had to.
I didn't have to.
You were supposed to. It was good.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because, like you said, Ginger streak is broken.
Let's go. Yes, and he broke it with coming in third, so very nice.
The draft is the worst part.
The draft was incredible. I got a draft win. Fine. Ginger got a draft win. Kate went 1 and 2, like I've been telling her. Let's go, man. It went.
Why would that upon me? Why would you want Ginger to be so close to me?
Listen, it's not that I necessarily wished it. I'm just telling you it was going to happen.
No, you wished it upon me.
We were in a head-to-head, so obviously I'm going to win. That is what it is. I told you Moicano winning against Benny. He does not have the ability to.
He could have.
He did better than I thought. And then Ilia was going to win. That's like I
knew Ilia was going to win.
Me and
Van should have never stepped in. Manel should have never pulled up because
you would have gone 2-1.
But that initially, that was all like, what it was that I had been talking about, like leading up, other than the last 3 weeks, was why I was like, okay, I could go 2-1.
Yeah.
But then it had to be fucked up by our boy Van.
Yes. Let's go. Yeah. So very nice. Very nice. All good stuff. I don't even know what the overall records are now.
Katie is 15-4. I am 13-5. You are 12-5. I still have a better ratio.
I need more fights. Let's go!
Dude, all of your fights are on August 9th and 16th.
Too far
You got
away.
a sprinkle of some July fights.
Well, yeah.
and Vinicius.
Got Bogdan
enough.
Vinicius. But
God
Kai
damn it.
versus Tim Elliott is a head-to-head with himself.
Yep.
He's got Cannonier against MVP, and that's a rough one for Cannonier.
Easy win, one like kicky ones.
Usyk is fighting who again?
Perez.
He should be able to win that one. Then
Easy one.
Lucindo versus...
Angie Hill. She got it.
He should be able to win that too, yeah.
Let's go!
And then DDP versus Hamza, and that's a fucking toss-up.
Yeah. But yes, the draft is cooking very nicely right now.
Yes.
Get some more wins. I'm in last place with wins. It's terrible. I hate it. But other last thing to talk about for this podcast, PFL did happen. Not as notable. It was really like, I feel like for me, if anything, most notable things. Phil Davis lost his fight against Sullivan Cauley. Very surprising. Sullivan did very good, just landing big shots, stuffing all the takedowns and stuff. Like that was just like, okay, he is actually he could end up winning this thing. He ends up fighting Shoeface. Shoeface got it done against Simeon Powell, but just not very impressive, just kind of a rough one. But yeah, so we'll see how that one goes. Sergio beat Rafion Stotts, but that was a very close fight. I really thought that Rafion Stotts was winning it. And then they were just like, oh yeah, unanimous decision, Sergio. And like Sergio, it looked like, yep, I won. And Rafion Stotts just looked like, yep, I lost. And it was just kind of like, damn, okay, I just guess I was not in tune with that fight with everything that was going on.
Yeah, same, because I definitely thought Stotts was winning.
Yeah.
Every time I was at least like felt like I was locked in, I was like, yeah, no, Stotts is winning right now. Looks up.
Yep.
Wasn't paying enough attention, I guess.
Alexander Romanov got kneed in the nuts extremely terribly by Moldavsky in the first round, and he was not able to continue, so he moved on in the tournament to fight Popov. Very heavyweight stuff right there. Fabian fights Dalton Rasta. Yeah, is what it is.
Did you bring
it?
Go ahead.
And then the last thing, Biagio Ali Walsh did take his first pro loss, got subbed in the second round. That was a rough one for him.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things. Super hyped prospect with no just hyped in as an amateur. Takes a loss, but I'm sure he'll just grow from it, just get better. So we'll see what he's able to do in his MMA.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah.
Let's go. That is all of the things for this episode of the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let us know of all your emotions that 317 gave you. And maybe all your emotions that PFL 7 gave you. You know what I mean?
Those emotions being more than likely apathy, discontent,
misery,
loneliness,
shame,
depression,
anger,
anyway,
frustration. Peace out, everyone. Get you. There's no UFC or anything meaningful next week, so it'll be a little bit since we got a normal podcast, but we'll drop some stuff to keep you entertained. So we'll catch you on our next video. Peace out, everyone.